It was 1987, the first high school lacrosse game I ever went to. The Cornhuskers of Yorktown were coming down to Wilton High School. And it was the first time I ever met a coach by the name of Guy Whitten. And man, he was intimidating. I was like, wow, I never thought football coaches, were that tough, that intense, the whole thing. And I got to know Coach through the years, and what a coach he was. I think that the little that I covered it back then, that Wilton High School was always near the top in the country, and an imposing man. And one of his players, left Wilton and did some great things, became a head coach at, was it Miami of Ohio Wesleyan? And the next time I didn't see Mike Pressler that day in '87, he was gone. The next time I saw him was 1998 at Compsawag High School. And Kevin Cassis was going to be our MSG Tri-State Athlete of the Year. And it just so happened Coach was there recruiting that day for Duke. And we did an interview and we talked about Coach Whitten, your old coach. And you could see him, he would just light up when he talked about his old high school coach. And it's when you take a look at bad situations and how good things come out of them, you had to do an unbelievable job coaching Kev when he was at Duke. Because I said all along, this year to me, the way after you got jerked around there, and then Kevin had to keep it tight until Coach Danowski got in, to me, Kevin Cassis was the National Coach of the Year this year. He should have been. They should have had the guts to name an assistant coach the National Coach of the Year. And that comes from you, Coach. You obviously, he got great coaching in high school, and then when he got up to college, you just taught him more. And to read the book and to see what you and your family went through, and to me, you're the most powerful coach there is, because you believe. Everybody wants to win, no doubt. No doubt. But when your backs are to the wall, if you haven't read the book, this guy was more concerned about his kids. He didn't care if he lost his job. His job meant nothing to him at that point. It was his kids. And that's why, when we were throwing it around in the office, get Pressler. Get him. When he stands in front of that room of 300 people, these coaches, they'll understand. And the ones who aren't coaches, who played for coaches, will understand. And that's why if you haven't read the book, please read the book before November 7th, and you will get a true understanding of what Coach Mike Pressler is about. It's an unbelievable, when you guys came up with this idea to have a coaching award named in your honor, when Robin called me, I said, it's perfect. It's perfect. So here he is, the man who, in the face of adversity, looked at it, told him it wasn't true, and he took one for the team to make sure his boys would come out all right. From Bryant College, by way of Massachusetts, the luckiest school in America, head coach Mike Pressler.
I'm certainly very honored to be the keynote speaker of the McGuire Foundation. Thank you for coming up here on November 2nd. I'm certainly very humble about this inaugural award. In 3 days, it'll be 19 months since the events of March of 06. And of all the coaches in the room, there's no handbook, there's no chapter in the Coaching 101 handbook on how to handle this one. And I can honestly say I've learned more about life in the last 19 months than I have in the last 47 years. And you talk about the things that we did, almost 19 months ago, and words such as trust, honor, strength of character, a phrase like that, staying the course, all the things that, as coaches you live by and stand by. Guys like Jack Morant, guys like Chuck Rublin, guys like my mentor, Jack Emmer over here. And those words and phrases were tested to incredible limits. And I think about this award, I think, not certainly about myself and my family. I think about those 46 players and what they endured, and the parents and especially the moms. This past Sunday, I had a chance to see Reed Sullivan again. Bryant was scrimmaging at Brown this past Sunday at the end of our fall practice. And he's still wearing number 45, his high school football number, his Duke number, and he carried that number up to Brown University. And we certainly had a private moment beforehand, and as I said to him, I said, Reed, looking big, boy. I remember when I had you, you can't carry that 240. No more fullback days. We need a midfielder here. And as we went by, he says, Coach, great to see you and all that. And I said, Reed, one more time, when you run by our bench today, make sure you keep your head up. And he said, Coach, trust me, I wouldn't expect anything less from you. So, but we had a great day together, and certainly saw Kathy Seligman and Phil Seligman and had a private moment with them. But this episode in our lives is, there's so many layers to it. And certainly Mike mentioned about our book, and people ask me about the book all the time and the motivation to do it. On Wednesday, April 5th, 2006, the day my tenure and my career at Duke was terminated and the season was canceled, in a meeting, a very final and private meeting with those players, and probably the most emotional day of my life. My youngest brother passed away 3 years ago, and I eulogized him that day, and this was blew that day away. And to sit there in front of those guys for the final time, and in a very emotional, certainly that kind of setting, made a promise to them that I would tell the world the truth. If you remember back then, all the lies, all the mystery, all the untruths that surrounded myself, the boys in our program, and I promised them in some way, shape, or form that I would make it right, and I would tell the world the absolute truth. And that's where the idea for the book came. And in a book, it's not a magazine, it's not a movie. It can't be altered. It's there from now to the end of time, and it's just not our story. It's the complete story of the entire case. That aside, it's this is a great honor for me. Living in Durham for 16 years, and we had some fond memories still do of Duke University and some great people there. I certainly know a lot about Coach McGuire and his legacy, and meeting some of the folks here. So to have this award and have it and to be given to two great friends of mine, and certainly two of the greatest high school coaches in the game today, Jack Moran and Chuck Rublin. This is certainly a great thing for our game, a great thing for the McGuire Foundation, certainly a great thing for these two individuals. I had the chance to speak to the boys one last time at the national championship game. Unfortunately, the best team didn't win, and Duke lost by a goal to Johns Hopkins. And John Danowski, the new coach, who's a great friend of mine, and I recruited his son Matt to come to Duke, was very gracious to invite me into the locker room after the game. And again, very emotional, and a speech that I've rehearsed 100 times. But the essence of what I wanted to say to them is that the word proud could not describe my feelings about them at that moment. And what I told them is that the roles have now been reversed. These 46 young men have become the teachers, and the world has become the students. They showed the world how to stay on the high road. They still showed the world what true honor was. They showed the world what loyalty was. Can you imagine 50 people believing one truth in the spring of '06 and 50 million believing another? Not one guy leaves, not one guy transfers, not one guy cracks, not one guy wavers. I'm 47 years old. I'm not sure if I was 18, 19, 20, that I could stay on the high road like those guys did and finish what they started. So that was the essence of my speech to those gentlemen. And to this day, I speak to a lot of them. Certainly Colin Finnerty, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I think about him daily. Reed Sullivan recently, and David Evans has moved on to another Wall Street job in Morgan Stanley, I believe, and I hope he becomes a member of the AC here sometime soon, and a lot of other off-the-field players of our own. But it's a true honor and privilege to be here tonight, and some of the famous coaches that are in this audience, and looking forward very much to November 7th. Thank you.